What's going on, guys? So we're gonna start this here in just a bit. I just opened up this link here, okay? What's up, guys? What is going on? All right, let's do this here real quick. SPX pulled a Houdini today. Yeah, let's go over some stuff here today specifically. Let's go over... wow, what a crazy day. Absolutely no news going on. Prelim GDP quarter for quarter expected to be higher than expected. This is really good GDP news. Okay, that should make markets go up since we're in a recession fearing sentiment. So it should have markets move to the upside here. While this Q&A data, unemployment claims. The expectations with unemployment claims, okay, are looking to become lower than expected here. So one second, guys. So unemployment claims coming out lower than expected. I should expect this here to move markets to the upside here. GDP month over month, the report always comes out. This right here is actually great. GDP month over month is great news for CAD. Should see some bearish movement on Canadian dollar as the reports in the US become better and better. We should expect Dixie to move to the downside while CAD moves a little bit more to the upside. So USD CAD, I should expect some sort of bearish news by Friday here. Core PCE price index here. The Fed does use this, okay, as a way to be able to figure out, okay, inflation and inflation data. Okay, it does like to use this as an inflationary kind of measure, right? Let's look at, wow, nothing but bearish movement. Okay, let's look at what's going on here with SP. Let's go first over Dixie, and then we'll go over SPX. Okay, so we will start at 910. This was yesterday. Where did market go? Okay, so the market went to our external structure and our refined order block. Hit the exact area of that refined order block. Okay, move to the upside, just like we talked about here on Tuesday. Okay, or on Tuesday, move to the upside here. Mitigated the refined order block right there. And then moved and shot to the downside. All right, what am I looking at now next? What am I looking at specifically? I'm looking at an extension to the downside, specifically with Dixie. As it starts to break, okay, external structure here, we should see this area here have some sort of rejection, but only a small type of rejection as we see it break to the lower side. Why? Dixie's still considered, technically considered to be on a smaller downtrend here. Technically, okay? We're still cutting rates. Even though it's a little bit choppy, rate cuts are still coming in. So Dixie's expected to go all the way to come lower as long as these rate cuts are going to continue to keep happening and the narrative of a rate cut is coming. And let's be honest, guys, that rate cut is coming. Okay? that rate cut is coming. There's an 88% shot that that rate cut is coming, right? So this is what I'm looking for next year, okay? Break of structure here on the Dixie. That complete break will give us movement to the downside here. So we should see SPX move to the upside here. This right here, this movement on SPX was just temporary. Okay, regardless of SPX moving to the downside, we still broke structure here on the 4 hour. That means this thing is moving on an external structure and it's going to create higher highs here. I called some buys on Tuesday morning session. You guys can go check that out. I said, hey guys, if we have a break here, it's going to pull back down and then it's going to run to the upside. What did it do? Okay, you see this right here? I called this live. You guys can go check out the session here on YouTube. Okay, I said that I need a 4 hour close. Okay, that 4 hour close above this structural point will signify that we're bullish here. What ended up happening? We ended up running to the upside, pulling back, okay? And I don't like to say retest because it really didn't retest. What we did was we came back to an Asian range and we mitigated. That's a better word, mitigation. Mitigation of internal structure. So what happened? We ran to the upside. We had a mitigation of an indecision, an upward, downward mitigation again of an order block, and then a run. Okay, where was the mitigation of the indecision? The indecision was right here. Okay, this specific candle was it. You see that? And then the order block mitigated here. Now, as it ran to the extension of the upside here, we hit a fib extension level. Well, we didn't actually. Okay. The level that we hit right now so far, we broke internal structure here, here, and here. Okay. So 2 areas of internal structure breaks. What am I looking for now? Okay. Very simple. The next thing I'm looking for here is what's kind of pertaining to, okay, external structure here. We're still bullish, okay? It's just prices are moving downward right now, okay? And this area is very weak. And I could see this next area of interest now from the previous buy that I called here. I could see the next area of interest being here. Okay, I'm gonna move now into internal structure here. And I want to look at something specifically tomorrow. I want to look at structure tomorrow to see, because obviously I only execute around New York time period, guys. Nothing less here. So I am going to take a look at this during New York session tomorrow. But I am looking for pullbacks potentially here, okay? Even though we do have a quote-unquote change of character or a quote-unquote break of structure here, okay? Internally, right there. It's going to pull back, come back, pull back, come back, and then we should hopefully have 3 waves to the downside and then an extension to the upside. If not, we do have a pullback. I most likely, this thing is going to drop here. So I most likely will expect the Asian range here to be around here tomorrow, swipe a liquidity down here, and then an extension to the upside. Okay, so that's what I see for tomorrow. Very, very simple. If you guys are confused, just let me know, please. Okay, but I'm looking for buys around this zone tomorrow morning. Okay, and I'm looking at specifically S&P 500 tomorrow for buys. Okay. One second, guys. Let's see this right here. All right. Let's look at this here. That's what I'm looking at here with that. Let's look at the Russell. Russell's breaking structures to the upside here. Super bullish. Ridiculously bullish. I mean, guys, Russell is like nothing. And this gives us a good indication of just the overall viewpoint of the overall economy. You know what I'm saying? So I expect this to move to the upside, no problem. Like I don't see any issue here with the Russell. I'm just looking for buying opportunities with the Russell as the range continues. I could see a potential buy order here. And I'm going to label this as external structure for external structure buys. And get that rocking, you know. External structure, this thing right here looks great. I don't want to buy Russell overly extended like this here, especially if I didn't catch it here. Let's look at the volatility index. It's continuing to drop. Volatility continues to create lower lows, which is a good thing. And it looks like it wants to even go lower. We have no sign. Let's see if we see any mitigation here. We have no sign of this moving or shifting to the upside. It just keeps creating lower lows, which is a good thing for us. Let's look at futures volatility. Even lower lows, which is great. Gold volatility. Even lower here. Did we break structure on gold volatility is what I want to see. No breaks of structure, at least on the lows, which is a good thing. And we had that pullback with gold. Okay. I'm worried now because now that we've shifted, okay, and completely filled that area and that price discrepancy, I expect price to shoot most likely downward, which would mean gold would move down. This right here too, you see that? Bonds and yields moving downward is what I want to see. I wanted to see it drop a little bit higher. Like we got the drop here. Looks like it's breaking even more structure, which is good. Volatility is going to come back down to the 4.144. More bullish movement here. What does that mean? S&P buys until September 17th. Okay. Russell buys. Dixie downward. We're going to keep moving down. We're going to keep following the trend, right? I'm a little bit worried right now with gold. Little bit worried, okay? Why am I worried with gold? This is the area with gold that we talked about here. So let me just delete some of this here because it's going to sometimes I get anxiety looking at too many things at one time. All right, so on with our last students, we talked about this wave, right? Wave 1, correction, wave 2, correction, into wave 3. Usually what tends to happen is once gold hits 3 waves to the upside here, we tend to have some sort of distribution that takes place and then a shift in structure and we move downward. I see that kind of happening again. And even on internal structure, we've kind of had this 5-wave movement already. And you notice that the pullbacks are becoming larger, specifically this pullback here. I could see a shift in structure and momentum happening as the impulse waves become smaller. See the impulse wave here? Massive, a lot smaller, smaller, smaller. What does that mean? Momentum is dying down. Okay? Momentum is dying down. Bullish volumes going down, bearish volumes starting to rise. So I could see a turnaround here unless there's significant news that comes out here. So I'm a little bit worried here. And now as we're going here, because I'm still in buys, guys. I'm still in buys from down here. I'm still in buys here. So right now, currently in my buys that I've called out, I'm up about 400 points or 600 pips. Okay, I'm still in these buys. What am I looking for? I'll be honest with you guys. Structure right now is not looking good. Yes, we broke this area here, but we need to get a break on a 4-hour external structure break. We need a close. If we don't get a close, guys, gold is going to come back down pretty hard. Now, I have good news. I do have some good news. What's the good news here? Actually, no, it's bad news. It's not bad news. It's not good news. The bad news is we need the daily here to close bullish here. If we have a bullish close in the daily today, that's the good news. This thing is going to run regardless. So what does that mean? That means if we can get a close here tomorrow or today, a close above this structural point, okay, then no matter if it pulls back down, back to this zone here, because that's what it looks like it's going to do, then we'll have a move to the upside. Okay, so right now, I need this to close today specifically bullish. If not, gold is coming back down, okay, at least to 33.76, okay? And we're going to go back to the other waves that we were at. Give me a second, guys. Someone is like, oh, there we go. So expect price to move to this downside here if we don't get a close or a break on the 4-hour. If you guys are still in buys here from our previous buys, I know some of you guys got in here. Okay, I know some of you guys got in here. I don't know anybody if you are in here at the 19th area. If I were you guys, I would start taking some profits here. Now, what would change my mind? I'm very curious to see how price reacts here. Okay, this is my overall idea here with external. I want to see how price cleanly reacts here. We get a break here, I'm going to set an alert. Then we are bearish. And expect us to start catching sells here. Now, one thing I've talked about also on some private sessions is just seasonal charts, and it's why I'm still somewhat bullish here. I'm somewhat still bullish here because of seasonality charts. You see August is still bullish. Because of that, I'm still going to ride this here. So August is still usually closes very bullish for the month. September, I want to be a bit careful because we usually have corrections, massive corrections, and the bottom comes in October. Okay? So I usually follow the same trend here. I want to be somewhat careful here because if we don't have that close, it's done. Let's look at GU. I'm pissed with GU. I'm fucking pissed. Okay? GU actually came to external structure. Stopped me out, unfortunately. All good. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking at this area here specifically this morning. And I saw it by 9 a.m. and I was like, ah, yeah, this area here is done. I marked this up on Tuesday, guys. Or actually, it was Tuesday night that I was looking at this. All good. Now, what am I looking at here? This thing mitigated external structure here. Not bad. Okay, what does this mean? This means we have a full-blown market direction bias now, and we know exactly where price is going. Okay, where's price going here? Here, bingo. There we go. This is where I'm looking for the next buy. All I'm looking for now is going to be internal buys within that zone. I want to see somewhat of a break for a pullback and then a run and extension to the upside. That's what I want to look for. That pullback to run to the upside here. Why? GU's bullish. GU's bullish as Dixie continues its bearish run. Okay, and it fills the rest of the narrative here. USD CAD. This is interesting. USD CAD's going to continue to be bearish here. I was wondering to see if it was going to break this and then come back down to this zone here. I want to sell CAD, but it's just overly extended. And it came back down to this zone here. We shall see. Let's look at Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin's going to be the last thing I'm going to mark up, guys. I am going to end this one early here, okay? Bitcoin, guys, is not looking good. Like, it's not looking good at all. Like, I've been waiting, and I haven't called any buys yet. I was hoping that we see some sort of buy level here, okay? But let's look at external structure, guys. You see, like, Bitcoin's created this lower low here. Okay. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, quote unquote, internal structure. But this level right here is the structural point. I'm trying to show you guys something. This area right here. We need a close above that zone. That's the only way I could say this is bullish. Now, some people in the trading community say, hey, as long as price created a higher high, a higher low, but it created a lower low, this means it's a shift in momentum. That doesn't mean that. Okay? A lot of traders look at that. They're like, hey, John, well, at least it created a lower high. A higher low. Internally, this means we're bullish. No. It doesn't mean we're bullish. Just because it created a lower high here does not mean we're going to go up, okay? We need to look at structure on the 4 hour, okay? Because this area didn't create that lower low, and it didn't break this previous high that created this lower low. That means it's not a break of structure. Because we did not break the previous high that created this lower low here, that means that we haven't shifted in momentum yet, okay? We officially shift in momentum the moment we break this zone and we have a closing candle on the 4-hour. If not, we're not getting in. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting until Bitcoin can give me a close above this price zone. If there's no close above the 4-hour, I'm not getting in. Why? This can be very simply order flow. This could be order flow and then a swipe downward. Okay, and if we do have a swipe downward, best believe we're not going to stop here. Best believe Bitcoin is going to go to at least back down to this zone here. All right. To 106. We break that zone, best believe Bitcoin's coming back down to 100K or even 95,000. And then people are going to start talking about it being the end of the bull run. You know? That's what they're going to start saying. So, interesting. Now, one thing that I find interesting too is the total cryptocurrency market cap is dropping. Bitcoin dominance is still dropping a bit, which isn't bad. That means it's given some rise here to Ethereum. It's given some rise to Solana here. We have to be very careful though. MSRT looks like it's still wanting to create a lower low here, and it's going to give us an entry. I want to buy MSRT. I'm going to buy MSRT at 317, and I'm taking profit at MSRT at 494. NVIDIA, we're still in buys here on NVIDIA. I'm not letting go of that buy. And that kind of breaks everything down, guys. I will see you guys on tomorrow's session here, but we do have great ideas of what we're going to be doing today. Other than that, I appreciate y'all, love y'all, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.